Hello, hello. It is Monday afternoon. I haven't checked in yet today because I had to work. And I was going to check in before work, but I just didn't have time. I was running a little late, so it's fine. It's Monday afternoon now, though. I'm home from work. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do right now. Probably just some tidying up around the house. You know, the normal tidying of things and listen to an audiobook. I started last night at the Telegraph Club because I finished my other audiobook and I wanted something to listen to. So I started last night at the Telegraph Club last night. And so far, been pretty good. I'm kind of trying to clear out the YA books that are on my TBR list. And this is a YA book. So that's, I was looking at them a little while ago and I was like, oh, I only have a few more YA books left. I'm kind of trying to clean them out since I'm not loving YA right now. Just get the ones that I have on my list read and then not add any more, at least for a little while. Anyway, good news though. I just checked on my jumpsuit and the stain came out and I'm so excited. I'm probably going to wear it tomorrow and I'm so excited to be able to wear it again. So that's the update. I think I said it was Monday. It's actually Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Work is done for the day. Now it's just time to vibe, do the things, listen to the audiobooks, do dishes, all of that fun sort of stuff. Hello, good morning. It is Wednesday morning. I'm about to go on a walk because it's such a beautiful day outside. I put on some sunscreen and yeah, I'm just gonna go enjoy nature for a second. I have updates to make about things I'm reading and such other happenings, but first, a walk. I'm home from my walk. I'm going to give you all some updates about what has been going on and what my thoughts have been. I mean, this is kind of like a reading vlog, right? Because I'm focusing very heavily on what I'm reading. Specifically, I want to talk about Caliban's War and then a little bit about last night at the Telegraph Club, which I have honestly been flying through because I've been getting in the habit of listening to it every night as I'm lying in bed, and it takes me a little while to fall asleep. I've been getting into the habit of listening to an audiobook while I'm just laying awake for a little bit, and then I turn it off when I feel like I'm actually ready to fall asleep, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't fall asleep super quickly. I'm not gonna say I have insomnia. I definitely don't. It just takes some time. But last night I listened to the audiobook until I was at the point where I was oh, I am at the point where I missed part of how they got to this. I'm following what's happening, except for I missed part of it. I'm starting to fall asleep. So I'll turn the audiobook off and actually go to sleep. But I'm enjoying last night at the Telegraph Club so far. More than I thought I was going to. And this is when I always second guess myself and when I question myself about not liking YA, because it is a YA book, but also doesn't feel like a YA book. I think there's just enough intrigue and interest, and mostly it's not really about high school. When I get into YA books that talk excessively about high school and high school drama and whatever, and just feel very high school, I'm I understand that's important for the teenagers, the kids who are still in high school. I've been out of high school for a while and I don't want to be back in that. I don't like that. This doesn't have that feeling for me. So I'm enjoying it a lot more than I kind of expected to, even though I thought it would be good and it sounded good. The other book I've been working on, I have been reading Como Agua para Chocolate. Last night I read a little bit of it aloud to myself to practice pronunciation and all that fun stuff. I don't have too much to say about it. In my last wrap up, I talked about how, like, I couldn't find the right words, but I was talking about how it's kind of hard for me to form thoughts about books I read in Spanish. Not that I don't understand them or think about them, but, like, it's still a skill I'm working on, so sometimes I have a hard time, like, giving a good review or talking about it in depth. So that's kind of where I'm at with Como Agua para Chocolate. So with Caliban's War, I'm almost to the home stretch, with the home stretch being like 100 pages left. I have like 150 pages left, so I'm closing in on the end. And I'm having a lot of mixed feelings, which maybe has been apparent this whole time, is that I have a lot of mixed feelings about this book and this series. Because I don't feel like the characters are super well developed, so I don't love all the characters. But I am intrigued by some of them. There's just some of them I hate. And for a little while in this book, I hated the characters so much that I almost DNF'd it. Am I glad I didn't? Probably. I could probably say I'm glad I didn't DNF the book. But I don't know if I'm going to read the next one. I'll figure it out in 2 years, probably. Which is how long it took me to read the second one after reading the first one. It was like 2 years. There's a character in this book that, like, my original thought was, if this character is in the next book as well, I will not read that book. And I might stick with that. I might try to just watch the series. I think that is something that is going to happen. I'm going to try to watch the series at some point. And maybe that's just how I'll enjoy the story. Maybe I'll like the characters more. Maybe they'll be less annoying. One thing I think about a lot, and I've talked about with other people, like people in my life when talking about The Expanse, is because it is written by two people, I think it loses some of its character. Because they have to, like, they almost write in a non-style. Like, the writing style feels very bland to me. And I think this is because it is written by two people. They, like, collaborate on this, and then it almost comes back without style. It feels bland, and this is also why I think maybe the characters feel underdeveloped and one-dimensional, is they kind of take, like, I'm saying the word style so many times, but they take away the style of the authors to make it sound cohesive between having two people write the book, and then it just makes the book less good. This is something I think happens when two people collaborate on a book, and it doesn't happen every time, but I do think it's something that can happen, and I think it's happening in The Expanse. Also, I'm wearing my jumpsuit that I cleaned, and that's not related to the books, but I'm very happy about it, very excited about it, and I'm just, like, over the moon, because this is one of my favorite items of clothing. So that's what's happening this morning. Just lots of thoughts and feelings about jumpsuits and books. This afternoon, in a little bit, lunch, all the normal things. I'll probably actually practice piano today, which will be amazing. And then I have therapy later. That's the plan for today. Good evening. It is 6:30. I'm home from therapy. I changed because, tragedy of all tragedies, my jumpsuit ripped. I just wore it for the first time in like a year, literally a year, because I remember the day that it got stained, and that day was just like a week ago. So wore it for the first time in a year. Finally got the stain out after trying so many different things, and then it ripped. One of the seams ripped. I can fix it. I am a good enough sewer that I can patch it up and it will be fine. But I'm really disappointed. Other update, I finished last night at the Telegraph Club. Since I've been home, I just decided to finish it. So I started that on like Tuesday. No, I didn't start it on Tuesday. I started on Monday night, I think. Sunday night or Monday night. And now it's done. I flew through it really fast. Like I was saying earlier, I know how to say English words, I promise. As I was saying earlier, I think I enjoyed it more than I expected. It was an intriguing story about a teenager in 1950s San Francisco who was a lesbian, who's a lesbian and Chinese, and like the overlap of those two things, the intersectionality, the racism, the homophobia that was happening at that time. And I thought it was interesting. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to, since it was a YA book, and I am happy about that. Currently, I'm actually probably going to read a little bit of Caliban's War. The oven is preheated. We're going to cook some sweet potatoes for dinner. So the oven is preheating in anticipation of that. And since I've been home from therapy, I haven't been doing a whole lot besides like listening to my audiobook, and I watched some YouTube after I finished it, and just like, chilling, hanging out, trying to drink lots of water, because while it is only in the 70s right now, it feels like I'm dying. I feel so warm. So I'm like dumping a whole tray of ice into my water bottle at a time to try to cool me down. And that has been like my main objective for the past little bit, is just trying to stay cool. The summer is going to be so fun, I'm sure. Hopefully I adapt quickly, like I adapted to the cold very fast this past winter. That is all beside the point. The point is, I finished the book. That's really what I came on here to say. And then I'm probably going to go read a little bit now. Hello, vlog. Happy Thursday. It is like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Again, getting a late start with the check-ins because I had a meeting at 9 o'clock this morning. And it was like a long meeting. It was like 3. I ended up being there for 4 hours. So, I had like a 4-hour engagement starting at 9 this morning. So I didn't check in before I got there. And I've been home for a little bit. I ate lunch and then I watched some YouTube. And now I'm honestly not sure what I'm going to do. I should be productive. Am I going to be productive? I'm not sure. So, we'll see. The world is my oyster, right? I can decide. I did start a new book. I started The Never Tilting World by Rin Chupeco, I think is what her name is. Their name is? I'm not. Honestly, not 100% sure. And yeah, that's what's happening today. Nothing too exciting. I got to the like 500 page mark in Caliban's War last night, so I'm hoping to finish that tomorrow. Maybe I can get that done tomorrow, and that would be really nice because like I only have like 100 pages left. Then I can move on to other things that I'm hopefully enjoying more. I honestly am feeling kind of low energy today, so I'm kind of like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, and if I'm actually going to end up doing the things I should do to be productive, because my energy just doesn't feel like I just don't feel like it's there. Maybe I'll take a nap and see if that helps. But yeah, that's the check-in for now. I'm not doing anything, and I don't feel like doing anything, so I'm here on the couch, not doing anything. Home for some is the peace that comes from a star-filled sky on a cloudless night. The wonder they feel in a forest so quiet and still. Okay, check-in time. I just filmed the video. I'm kind of testing a new background. It is so boring, and I realized that it's literally just my wall. And while my last filming location was also just like in front of a white wall, there was at least some visual interest with my chair, which I'm not giving right now. I'm still working on it. I was having a hard time filming for a little while because of the chair I was using. I love that chair. It's super comfy. It's a papasan chair. It is great for relaxing and reading, but for the way I film, it doesn't really work that well. So I'm trying something else. in a chair that's more comfortable. I realized after I filmed my April wrap up, my cat is looking at me. He's judging me. Anyway, I realized after I filmed my April wrap up, I felt like sick to my stomach. And this was something that happened after almost every time I would film in that chair. And it sounds super weird. I get that it sounds so weird, but I would feel almost like physically ill after every time I'd finish because I would get so hot and so uncomfortable that my body would just be like, done, stop. We can't do this. So I'm trying other things. I don't know if this is the best option. It is better for me though. I get it's not super visually interesting, but I feel a lot better. And because I wasn't as worried about my filming setup and like how I was sitting and making sure I was like all proper and like having to sit a certain way, and you know, like it's a easier filming setup for me, I felt like I was able to be a little bit more relaxed in myself. Like, not that I haven't been myself in my other videos, but I was always so focused on other things, and this is just such an easier setup. It's easier for me to make sure everything's working okay, and I'm not quite as focused as like on like my posture and making sure like I'm not sitting weird and my body doesn't start hurting. It was easier to relax. So that's why I'm here. I'm testing it. If it works, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I'm literally up against the wall. Like this chair is like, you can probably hear it when I do this, like hitting the wall. Hopefully I'm not leaving marks. But that's beside the point. I am making bread. I actually probably need to go check on that proof, see how it's doing, that rise. I've watched too much British Bake Off because sometimes now I want to use like the British words when I bake, and it's just because of Great British Bake Off. So there we go. But I need to go check on that. It should be tasty. It is gluten-free. So if you were looking at that dough thinking that looks weird, I get it. I know I'm gluten-free. The dough looks weird. The texture is not going to be quite the same, but you know, it doesn't matter. I enjoy it. My husband enjoys it. I don't know if I've ever actually had anyone else try it, but the people who have tried it, me and my husband, enjoy how it tastes. That's what matters. If you don't like it, don't eat it. Anyway, I'm going to go check on that. Hopefully put it in the oven and start editing, I think. I need to start editing this vlog, actually. Brelden and I are here for a real quick check-in. Just real quick. The bread smells amazing. I did do some recording, and I'm hoping it turned out okay. I always struggle with recording because of a couple reasons. First of all, is like imposter syndrome, and then like feeling like I'm not actually good enough. But then the other thing is, even if I feel like my song is good and I'm playing it well or I'm singing it well, it doesn't always come across in recording. And this is where the art of like mixing comes in, because I don't know. I have this theory. I have this thought, having, you know, released music and done recording stuff and whatever, that like if you actually just record and like do a song without any mixing, like it would actually sound awful. Right? So I'm like, I haven't mixed anything. I'm pre-mixing. Pre-mixing sounds like I'm doing the mixing before, but like I haven't mixed anything yet. So I'm like, does this sound weird because it's bad, or does it sound weird because the mixing is awful and I haven't played with it? And I'm not sure. So before I re-record more, I have like a little bit more I need to finish. But one of the joys of like how I record and like being a home recording person, and also like I had bread in the oven so I couldn't record for too long because I was like, this better not burn. But I tend to take it in very small chunks, and I have like 40 takes of one of the chunks. So that's where I'm at. I'm hoping it's okay. Speaking of my music, go stream it if you would like to. I'm kind of trying to get 500 more streams before the end of the year. So if you have gotten this far in the video, pause it and go stream my music, or finish this and then go stream my music. I would really appreciate it. And it would help me like have the motivation to continue working on the songs I'm currently working on, which honestly I think are better than what's already out there. So yeah. Happy Friday morning. It is like 10 a.m. I've already been up for a while, went to the vet and got home and, have already hung out and started editing this vlog. So I'm actually going to wrap up the vlog here because it is getting too long. In terms of wrap up, I've read some stuff. I am really close. Like, I still want to finish Caliban's War today / this weekend because I have less than 100 pages left, so I'm really in the home stretch. And then after I finish it, I will decide if I continue on with the series later. I read Cloud Cuckoo Land. We talked about that. And I started The Never Tilting World. I haven't really read very much of Como Agua para Chocolate or like any of Braiding Sweetgrass in this vlog, but that's just like a very quick wrap up of what I read, what I have been reading. And yeah, this is the end. So long, farewell, all of that fun stuff. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.